Clicking on this video, you are probably wondering whether this title and this thumbnail are clickbait or not, and I want to assure you that unfortunately this thumbnail and this title are indeed not a clickbait. So I'm not really gonna be talking about Hazbin Hotel in this video, but it's gonna be a personal story. So please stay. I'm sure you're not gonna be disappointed by the end, because I had a pretty bizarre interaction online recently, about 2 days ago. So I'll give you background first. Originally I'm from a post-Soviet country, which, post-Soviet country used to belong to the Soviet Union, and this is exactly the reason why I staunchly support Ukraine in the current conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Well, the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So I took a staunchly pro-Ukraine position, and I even have a huge Ukrainian flag on my backpack, which a way that I express my support alongside with my LGBTQ plus pin and a feminism pin. So just a typical leftist backpack. So the BlueSky. This interaction happened on BlueSky, and in case you are lucky enough not to know what the hell BlueSky is, so essentially BlueSky is a leftist version of Twitter. I mean, we all know that the Twitter was bought by Elon Musk, and Elon Musk is the guy who is mainly known for two things. The first thing Elon Musk is known for is consuming ungodly amounts of a certain drug called fentanyl, and the second thing Elon Musk is known for is to successfully sending people to Mars. No, I'm joking. The second thing he is famous for is doing quite inappropriate gestures in the White House in Washington DC. So I hope I can still show this picture. Yeah, so that's what Elon Musk is known for. I mean, the guy kind of went crazy in recent years. So the leftists began boycotting Twitter, which became known as X. Fucking X. So Elon Musk really couldn't come up with a better name than X. So leftists began boycotting X, began leaving X en masse, and so essentially leftists created their own version of Twitter, which they called BlueSky. Well, couldn't create any better name than BlueSky, but I guess BlueSky sounds kind of better than X, at least more letters than an X. So lots of people moved to BlueSky from X, Twitter, whatever you prefer calling it. I prefer calling it Twitter. And there are a lot of really great artists on BlueSky, and one of the artists is making mostly Helloverse, mostly Hazbin Hotel art. Fan art, I mean. She is a mostly Hazbin Hotel artist, and her art is really good. I'm not gonna give out any information about her, her nickname or whatever, because I think it would be completely unethical and inappropriate to release such video without her consent. So I'm not gonna give out any information about her. Just know that there is a very talented Helloverse fan artist whose art I really enjoy. So 2 days ago I went to her page on BlueSky, and I found another 125th post in support of Palestine. I mean, half of her page is like Palestinian flags and whatnot. And I got curious how she has such a strong position, such a strong stance regarding the conflict in the Gaza Strip. Maybe she also has a strong position regarding the ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine between Russia and Ukraine. So I just kind of DM'd her. I sent her a message asking her how she feels about this conflict. I asked her to condemn the Russian invasion, and I asked her to express some support for Ukraine, maybe she could post or repost something on her channel. I'm sure there are lots of Eastern European or Ukrainian subscribers to, who are subscribed to her page on BlueSky, because there are lots of Eastern European people who watch Helloverse. So I assumed that, and I asked her to express some kind of support towards Ukraine, and her response kind of baffled me. I did not expect such a response from a person who I assumed had some moral values. I mean, I'm not exactly pro-Palestinian, but I understand why people support Palestine. They might lack some factual information, but the intention is good. The intention is freedom of self-determination of the Palestinian nation, the freedom from war, from occupation. I mean, in principle, these are all good motives to support a certain group. I mean, you might be misinformed, but at least you might have you need to have good intentions at heart. This is what I think should set progressive people from the right wingers who don't even have good intention in heart and intentionally do malicious things that make no sense. So I didn't expect the response that I got, and the response is this. She told me that she does not support Ukraine because Ukraine is a tool of the Western and more specifically the American imperialism. What she told me is, I began arguing with that, and she told me that, well, actually there was a Kievan Rus, and Russia actually started in modern day Ukraine, and the Kiev, this modern capital of Ukraine, Kiev used to be the capital of the Kievan Rus, which is historically true, of course. And that Russia, modern Russia, has a strong historic claim for the modern territory of Ukraine. Actually, throughout hundreds of years, the territory of modern Ukraine used to belong to Russia, used to be under Moscow's control. So Russia has a very strong claim to Ukraine. But then, in 1991, the CIA, essentially Henry Kissinger, they helped to dissolve the Soviet Union, and thus the independent Ukraine was created. Then in 2014, the basically revolution happened in Ukraine, and according to her, the revolution was pretty much orchestrated by the CIA, and CIA installed a America-friendly anti-Russia government. Anti-Russia government on a traditionally, historically Russian territory. And also US was totally about to use Ukraine to, US was about to admit Ukraine into NATO, to build some military bases in Ukraine and thus threaten Russia. So essentially using Ukraine as a part of kind of America's imperialist project to smother Russia, because Russia is such a big country with so many resources, and the imperialists and capitalists in US kind of want that resources for free from Russia. So that's why the revolution in Ukraine happened, and Putin, essentially Russia, in this situation, it's not the aggressive military invasion into a sovereign country, it's not a imperialist invasion in order to conquer Ukraine, it's actually Putin resisting this kind of American imperialism. So yeah, that's essentially what she told me, and that's why she doesn't really support Russia, because she says that Russia does commit bad things. That's a fact, but she does not support Ukraine because Ukraine is an illegitimate state created by the Western imperialism that was about to be used by Western American powers against Russia. And essentially, Putin's invasion in 2022 delayed that. So that's what she told me. And this is word for word what the Russian state propaganda says. I mean, I know that a lot of right-wingers in Europe and in the US are staunchly pro-Russia because Russia poses itself as a protector of some traditional conservative values like religion, like traditional marriage and traditional family, which is true. Except for the religion, Russian people are uh, mostly secular. Most Russian people, you won't find most Russian people near churches like ever. Most Russians would rather get drunk with vodka and stuff than go to church because they're absolutely not religious. But yeah, other stuff like extreme misogyny, extreme patriarchy, and extreme unhealthy levels of homophobia. Russia is a horribly homophobic country. It's true, so I would understand why the right would be supportive of Russia, because the right is homophobic and misogynistic, and Russia too, so kind of natural alliance between them. But why would the left support Russia? I mean, I said that she did not really support Russia, but not because Russia is a fascist dictatorship that invaded a sovereign country, but because Russia kind of did bad things. But in principle, she does support Russia because, well, it's resisting the American imperialism, which she totally believes in. So why would a person like her, who is otherwise a very, I assume, a nice person, she posts stuff in support of LGBTQ community. So I assume she must be a nice person. So what's the problem? And the problem is social media, obviously. Stuff like Instagram, stuff like TikTok, especially TikTok, because there is a lot of propaganda. There is a huge Russian troll farm, and not just Russian, but Chinese as well. But let's focus on Russia for now. That operates the Russian troll farm, and now the Russian bots, especially these days with AI, quite sophisticated Russian bots. There is a pretty much huge organized campaign organized by the Russian state in order to post as much disinformation, misinformation online as possible, to post as much chaotic information as possible. All this propaganda, misinformation, the TikTok and other social media like Instagram are just flooded with that. So essentially, there might be an account that poses as progressive, liberal, and posts stuff in support and posts stuff like American imperialism. Ukraine is an American too. Russia is resisting. It's appealing to the left's natural desire to support the underdog, to be against colonialism, to be against racism and imperialism. So this troll and bot farms play on that. So they frame the resisting nation Ukraine as part of the Western imperialism. So that's kind of how it happens. And people who consume a lot of stuff online, who watch TikTok a lot, and unfortunately people watch TikTok and Instagram a lot, especially TikTok these days. Just don't use TikTok and stuff. It's a lot of misinformation. It's not only bad for your mental health or attention span, it's also very bad for forming your opinion about the world, because there are lots of actors, I would say, from different places of the world who want to shape your opinion in one way or another. And the best thing to avoid this kind of misinformation, brainwashing, is to do your own research, to use your own common sense. I assume most people do have some moral values, some common sense, some knowledge at least. So just use your own common sense, just use your own moral compass. Try to do your own research, try to understand the situation, no matter what kind of conflict is happening, whether it's in Ukraine, in Gaza, in, Pakistan, Sudan, whatever. Just try to do your own research, try to understand what's actually going on. Find some credible sources, read them, read different sources, in fact. Try to take sources from different parts of the political spectrum. Read them all, fact check, and form your opinion based not on someone else's opinion, but based on your own moral values. Because we have a really, really terrible problem with that. We have a problem that a lot of people simply believe that, well, the root of the evil is just American imperialism, and whoever is against America is an automatically good guy, resisting imperialism, like when there were protests in Iran in January, when up to 40,000 people were slaughtered in 2 days or so, pretty much killed by their own state, executed for protesting for democracy and the secular government. And there were lots of leftists, not some crazy right-wingers, but legitimate leftists who should be supporting this protester, because a lot of the protesters in Iran were actually the Iranian working class who got tired of oppression, of persecution, of horrible inflation caused by the Iranian regime. So the leftists who are supposed to be supporting the proletariat, the working class, were essentially supporting the oppressive theocratic government against the working class. Just because the theocratic government was against Iran and the US, and in the leftist playbooks, Israel and US are bad guys, so whoever is against them is automatically good. So, and even protesters in Iran were called Mossad agents. Like there were thousands, tens or hundreds of thousands of protesters, and all of them were allegedly Mossad agents. The population of Israel is 8 million people, and half of them are Mossad agents working specifically in Iran. I mean, that's how bad it is. And honestly, this interaction, it was certainly very unpleasant, but now that I think, it wasn't all that unexpected. It was not all that unexpected, but still kind of unpleasant to hear stuff like that. Right now, I'm not trying to express my opinion on Israel, Palestine, or war in Iran. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not expressing the opinion. But certain conflicts are certainly morally gray. But some conflicts, some situations are not morally gray. Like, for example, killing protesters is not good at all. And supporting killing the protesters automatically makes you a bad person. So I'll just repeat my point: do your own research, read different sources, and that's basically my message and the purpose of this video I'm making. And if you're still here, well, thank you very much. And hopefully see you again. Next time, I promise I'll talk about the show itself. See you.